etc. Nobody alive is responsible for that. And those idiots expect us to give them £19 trillion. They're just hustling. And the answer is no. And don't bother asking us again, because we will never ever give you this money. Drop the subject. It's ridiculous.
Hey fam, Gracie here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I am hoping that from wherever you're watching this from, you're doing alright and you are amazing. And as always, to people that continuously give support to the channel, that really means a lot to me, and I don't take any of you for granted. So once again, thank you so very much for your support. To those that believe in reparations, I believe that today's episode is one for you. There's this palm-colored man that went boldly on the media to say that there goes, Commonwealth celebrations where we are going to see Caribbeans again coming with unsensible demands, asking for I don't know how many pounds in reparations. And he said, you know what, we ain't giving you nothing. You don't deserve nothing, so continue making a fool out of yourself. But you will just continue talking and talking and talking. This is not something that we are going to do. And that was very interesting, but I'm not going to say so much. I think we should watch this first. We will come back and definitely discuss a bit about it. But also, I'll read a few comments from this very post and see what other people think about this. Let's watch this, come back and talk about it.
Hello, Israel. Watch this.
They are staging right now the Commonwealth Leaders Summit, where Keir will be presented by the usual absurd demands for slavery reparations. The Caribbean nations are asking for as much as, check this out, £19 trillion, because to compensate for the fact that some of our forefathers kept slaves in the plantations in Barbados, etc. Nobody alive is responsible for that. And those idiots expect us to give them £19 trillion. They're just hustling. And the answer is no. And don't bother asking us again, because we will never ever give you this money. Drop the subject. It's ridiculous. And we were the country that took our empire and used it to go a long way towards stamping out outright slavery around the world. We used our own empire to stamp out slavery because we knew it was implicitly wrong. So the idea that we're some kind of evil imperial state that does nothing but bad is for the birds. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. And yet this is the attitude that prevails right now. So we have this conference next week whereby we will pay lip service. Oh, you want reparations? You want £19 trillion? Well, we'll definitely think about it. We're taking your demands very seriously. I think we should turn around to these people and say, we're not taking your demands seriously. They're ridiculous. They're ludicrous. And get this, you are never getting a single penny out of us for slavery. Got it? Got it? Write it down. Okay? Because this ritual where they demand it, we go, oh yes, we're personally sorry, but we're not sure how far we get. No! Just tell them to do one. It's absurd.
Alright, so for every time you hear a white person say, you know what I mean, they had nothing at all to do with our slavery because they weren't alive back then, just call this interview back to memory. And remember this interview every time you hear a black leader telling you that you should forget about slavery. So basically you can just forget about, you know what I mean, this oppressor ever giving us reparation. I mean, if they are not willing to even give us an apology, a proper apology, you think they're going to give you $19 trillion? So you can basically just forget about that. And like we said before, no amount of money can compensate for the suffering, you know what I mean, that our foreparents went through during slavery and the suffering that we went through after slavery. So them can keep that. And this is why we have to give thanks for our God, you know what I mean, the Most High, our power, because Him have a reparation in mind for these oppressors. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 2, and it says, and the people who are the children of Israel, which we are, you understand, blacks, Hispanics, and native Indians, shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaid, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So this is true reparation. We ruling over our oppressors. The same way how they forced us, you know what I mean, to work for free and build them a big kingdom, is the same way them are going to work and build up our kingdom. That is how we are going to get our reparation, by putting them in chains the way they did to us. And to the argument that oppressors like to bring up that, you know what I mean, they weren't alive back then, so they shouldn't have to pay for slavery. Well, this is what the Most I have to say about that. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and 21, and it said, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So these oppressors who are alive today will have to pay for the crimes of their forefathers, because nobody paid for the crimes of slavery. You understand? And with that, follow this page where ISUPK Jamaica under commanding General Yohana.
The nerves and audacity to use a very public platform to say that these Caribbeans are making senseless demands, and you're giving an excuse of your kingdom actually is the one that made efforts to stop slavery, and that you don't owe these people nothing, and literally just use their pain and trauma to just say all of this. But before I go into my own personal sentiments, my people, put your thoughts in the comment section about this video. Before I rush into reading a few comments of other people and what they have to say about this video, I'm going to say this, that I am not shocked when I hear and see these things from the palm-colored people, because we are dealing with a class, a species of beings. I mean, that's very respectful, right? According to what they did to us, I think that's very respectful. We are dealing with such a species of beings that are shameless, that even when their sins are written all over their face, they will have nerves to stand in front of you and use your pain and downplay it and literally tell you that they don't owe you nothing, even when they do still have blood dripping off their hands. We do and are dealing with the species of beings that are probably, when they were being made, the urge to spill blood is one of the strongest urges that they could not resist. They do this every day. You see these things, don't you? This is not just me trying to make up things. You can't make these things up. We are dealing with people that you can't find a right definition to give them. So if you are melanated and you get shocked at these things, my advice to you is, I would rather you familiarize yourself with the reality of living with such beings. Because if you don't, your heart will be broken over and over again. Now, you do have other people that had things to say, and I'm going to read a few comments right here, and we see what other people were thinking about this. Europe is already falling down, just like our brother was saying that judgment is actually going to come on them, and the black people, which are the children of God, they are actually going to reign over these people, which is the truth. And so this other person was saying, Europe is already crumbling, it's already falling. And someone said, what are all African leaders saying and doing about this issue? Very painful hearing. Now, African leaders, most of them are part of the Commonwealth, whatever, that whole whatever thing. In my opinion, there are people, we don't need to disrespect ourselves with these people, the so-called African leaders. This is not to demean or put down any of them, but I think their conversation they don't need to be involved in. We can't bring people that continuously betray us every other day sell us out and we think they deserve to have such conversation. In fact, civilians can do such a better job than some of what these leaders. Are you talking about the leaders that were literally taken at the burial of the Queen and they were driven in a bus and they were all packed like goats that were taken for slaughter? Those are the people that you're talking about, that they need to do something, when we do have African Union that is literally watching other countries falling out with each other, when we have African Union and genocides are still going on here in Africa and they're not doing anything, when we even still do have leaders that snitch on others, like the leaders of Nigeria that were literally telling on Ibrahim Traoré, and those are the people that you're talking about. You need to respect people. There are some people that don't need to be brought in this conversation. The leaders and some elites, they are the biggest sellouts of the West. So that one is bad. And someone is saying he thinks we want money, but we don't. We actually need to do unto you what you did unto us. Someone wants violence here. Someone said Haiti stopped slavery. I hate these people. And then someone is saying, I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the Caribbean. Tell him to come here and talk like this. My people. Someone said Europe is broke. Them have no money, which is a reality. Yes, because if you are rich, if you are wealthy, as you're saying, then what is the reason as to why you are in the Congos? Why are you still there? Why are you still holding on to the diamonds that you stole from Africa? Why are you still holding on to the artifacts that you stole from the African people? Why are you still holding on to the gold? Why are you still trying to steal, cobalt? Why are you trying to steal all of these things? If you really are wealthy and rich as you think, whatever is holding these people is still Africa. Let me see. That's why we should not feel sorry for them when we chop them over the phone. Wish I know him so I could show him how I really feel about this. I mean, those are sentiments of other people. Now, let's go into this whole thing because the video is already getting long. The thing is, they did not stop slavery simply because they felt ashamed, simply because, they saw that it was wrong, just like he mentioned. No, they didn't need them anymore. That's the reason. They didn't need slaves anymore. That's why they stopped. But if they still needed them, they will still do it, even to death. I told you we are dealing with a species of beings that are not ashamed of doing anything, alright? So if they still needed them slaves, they would. The reason as to why they took slaves, it was to revamp their economies that were falling, besides the urge and all of that is embedded in their DNA to want violence and commit all these atrocities. Yes, they needed their economies to be revamped because Europe was crumbling. That's the reason. America was crumbling. That's the reason as to why they took these people. They needed some people that were smarter than them, because why would you take people that are not smarter than you? And you do have the nerves to say that you do not owe these people nothing when they helped to build whatever that you have. He's saying that none of the people that committed all of these atrocities is still alive. Therefore, if the people that perpetuated these are not here, no, we don't owe you nothing. Well, we go back to scriptures. The Bible says that God avenges the sins of the parents on their children for 4 generations. Yesterday I made a mistake and I said 3. In fact, there are 4 generations. So even if none of those people is still alive, you are alive and you might be a direct descendant from one of those. And if you don't know the right thing to do, which is actually apologizing and giving these people what rightfully belongs to them, because you're saying that they are making absurd demands. In other words, these are senseless. They're asking for too much. They built multi-billion-dollar, pound industry, revamped your economies when your kingdom was rotting, when people were walking in poo, when nothing seemed to be going anywhere. And these are the same people you're saying, no, leave us alone. And when you say that people are calling you evil and imperialist and all of that, all of those names, and you're saying these are things of the past, we are here, and the people that you're talking about that are asking what they're asking, they are there because of the actions of the past of you, of your people. That's why we are here. So do not underestimate the power of the past. The past is what has brought us where we are right now. And if you thought people are going to be forgetful because apparently Black people should be forgetful of anything that has ever happened to them, when you do not tell the Jews to forget about the Holocaust. You don't tell them that. You don't. But Black people should forget. When in actual sense, the number of Jews that were wiped out cannot even be compared to the amount of people that were erased in Africa, and every atrocity that happened to Black people, every atrocity that you still perpetuate right now in 2024, all the leaders that have been deleted at your hands and at your commands, everyone that wants to unite the continent of Africa, you don't want to hear about that. And then you're telling us the past has nothing to do with us. So Africans, Black people, forget about what happened to you. But everybody else has to remember what happened to their people. If we are to collect reparations just to repair the things that they have done, I feel like nothing can pay for that. You didn't work for nothing. You stole it. You're saying, we ain't giving you nothing. Well, let me tell you this. We know that you ain't giving us nothing, actually. We know. We know. We know you probably can give everybody else. You can pay everybody else. You pay the Asians. You pay the victims of the Holocaust. You pay everybody else except Black people. Because do you know why? When you're saying you're talking of equality, they abolished slavery and, just to make sure they treat Black people as humans again. No, you still look at Black people as subhumans. Because give me a good explanation as to why you pay everyone else, but you can't pay Black people, and you think they are making senseless demands. We have seen other people that are coming to apologize. There were slave owners that came to apologize and be like, we are sorry. But when it comes to the language of reparations, then that is a big problem. There's no apology without reparation. If you can't talk about reparations, don't apologize. We don't need that. Because you haven't even given any formal apology, right? In fact, this guy just came to mock. But again, judgment is on you. And yes, when you literally think that you have done all and you have shielded yourself and gated yourself, judgment and the wrath of God is going to come on you in a time when you do not expect it. Our eyes are open and we are seeing. And somehow we, Black people, we children of the Most High, we will not need to do so much. God will have to do what He has to do to deal with such people that don't have any sympathy or empathy in their hearts. The Bible says that no, the word of God can't be void. Like, it's not void. It's not just spoken right? For those of you that believe in the Bible, He will avenge all the sins of the parents on their children and their children's children. Literally, God can slay an entire lineage. He can slay an entire generation. He can slay anything and just destroy all of it. all the destructions that we see in the Bible, nobody figured out it was coming except the prophets. And I think all these words are our hope at the moment. And so for the people that still hear these things and be shaken, I want you to be strong, because again, God is not a man that he will lie or back down on his promises. I want you guys to put your thoughts in the comment section about this. Please subscribe to the channel and super thank me if you find these episodes interesting, educative, and informative. And let me see you in another amazing video. My name is Gracie and I love you all. Peace.